Hi there, welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Doveston and thank you for joining me for our weekly I Ching episode for the week commencing the 13th of March 2023. Last week we had our interesting hexagrams 41, decrease, and 4, youthful folly, asking us to really pay attention to the areas where we needed to cut back, get back to basics, get rid of excess, and to be patient. That if we felt that there was something in our life that was decreasing, that was leaving, the bank account was perhaps emptying out faster than you would like, or commitments suddenly came to your awareness you didn't know you had, just to be patient and observe that as the dam level goes down, as that water evaporates, it does at some point coalesce back into rain, back into your reservoir. So what were the things around decrease that were coming to your mind? What were you putting down and deciding, right, my time, my energy, my money, my love, okay, where does this need to go? Where can I decrease my attention and my time into things that are not important now? Maybe they were important before, not important now. Let's cut back, let's reduce, and let's take responsibility for getting back to the basics, all right? Putting down what is no longer necessary. And then youthful folly, teaching us that there's something to learn, all right? Our own foolishness, our own immaturity, the things that we are here to learn. Perhaps you came across the folly of others, all right? And you had a situation where you thought, ooh, there's some learning that's got to happen here. And perhaps we can take responsibility for seeing where in our lives, in our businesses, in our teams, there is learning that was required, and how the I Ching was helping us to pay attention to the areas where we needed to grow up, where we needed to mature, where we had to accept that we couldn't see everything because we hadn't developed the eyes to see it yet. So please do share comments. If there's anything that came up for you last week, please do share those below. Right, so this week, the 13th of March, what are we being asked to pay attention to? Very interesting. It's always interesting. Okay, so our first hexagram is hexagram 59, dispersing. This hexagram we've had loads of times, all right, and it is the symbol of the warm wind blowing over the ice, the frozen, locked up issues. Yes, that's right. It's all coming back to us, right? Okay, so this week, our key focus is in dispersing locked old things. Okay, dispersing and dispelling the old issues, old negativity, delusions, illusions, our warped way of looking at the world, whatever it is. There's something here that's old and stuck, and we have the opportunity this week to loosen the grip, okay, to start moving and start clearing, okay, the things that have been holding us stuck or locked in a position. I often talk about that warm wind blowing over the ice, but I wanted to talk a little bit this week around the idea of smoke. Okay, not cigarette smoke or cigar smoke or that too. This idea of the cleansing ritual of smoke, of incense, of sage. You know, working with this idea of the smoke that clears the air. I know that's a really weird thing to think of, smoke clearing the air, but it's this idea that we have stuck energy. Think about, you know, if you've done this before, you've moved into a new place or you've gone into a place and you just feel like oppressive, right? And you can go and clap, all right, in the corners of the room, and you can go and ring bells, and you can almost hear the bell feels quite dull until it starts ringing, it starts to clear, and move that energy. You know, your sage stick and your incense sticks, you know, burning and clearing away energy that's got stuck in little pockets, okay? Space clearing. So I wanted to tap into the power of smoke, okay, this week, as this idea of thinking of a different way that we can work with this hexagram. The idea of space clearing. Now, in space clearing, the idea is that you have other people's stuff, residue, leftover, discarded energy from ourselves and others that kind of gets sticky in the corners, right? It's got nowhere to go. It hasn't been sent and cleared out properly. And so we land up getting slower and slower and slower as we carry all this energy with us. So this week, we have the opportunity to disperse that stuck energy. So think about in your life, your business, your team, where is the space clearing required? And I'm talking symbolic space clearing. Maybe you actually physically need to clear your physical space. Maybe it feels very heavy and it feels sticky. There's lots of things that you can find online to help you do that. But I'm talking symbolically. Okay, where in your mind, in your heart, in your physical world, in your team, in your physical space, there's a space clearing required. Other people's junk, old issues, family issues, our issues we carry from, the first time we can hold a memory, we're all carrying the stuff all the time. And so this week allows us an opportunity to start to thaw that, disperse it, dispel it, unravel it, and take it out from the corners of the room where it is sticky and is holding us down, creating this oppressive energy and clearing it out. Isn't that wonderful? So we are all space clearing this week. Think about your psyche, your emotional, spiritual life, your mental life, your relationships. Where is the area where you feel this stickiness in the room, symbolically speaking? And what can you do to clear the air? And it begins with smoke. Let's see. All right, we have 2 changing lines this week in the 3rd and the 6th position. All right, so in the 3rd position, what are we dispersing? Because each of these changing lines gives us something specific that we are dispersing, a particular kind of stickiness that we're trying to get rid of. And changing line 3 says we are dispersing the ego, our personal requirements in the moment. And we are doing that by putting the work first. Okay. So there's something around this week, particularly at the beginning part or first third of the week, where our focus must be on dispersing the ego and putting the work first. We don't need recognition. We don't need praise. We don't need strokes. We don't need, control and power in this moment. No, everything is about the work that's in front of us. And if we can shift our energy and disperse the need for recognition in this week, we can get recognition any other time, but this week what we're being asked to do is disperse the attachment to reward or to be patted on the back or to have power by putting everything into the work. Sounds like there's something important for us to do. And the way that we clear it and disperse it and release the opportunities that are abounding in the situation is to put the work first. The work can be things to be done in a relationship. The work can be your client project. The work can be whatever is in front of you that is critical for the next step in your life. That is the work. Okay. And then in the 6th position, dispersing the bad blood. Oh, okay. I've got the song going through my head, bad blood. Okay. What we're doing here in this changing line is we are recognizing how dangerous it is to carry bad blood. Okay. This is conflict, old unresolved issues, bad blood, bad relationships, big issues, and conflict that we need to get out. So this line says, exorcise the demon. Not exercise, exorcise the demon, okay? Get it out. So there's something this week where we have old bad blood. Maybe this is with someone particular. Maybe it's a colleague, a supplier, a client, a family member, a loved one, a child, whatever it might be. There's some inherent conflict that we need to literally just get rid of it. Okay, and of course, if we have attachment to having the bad blood, that's a bigger issue. This week, we have to exorcise it, okay? Because if we don't, we face difficulties that will become very difficult to manage. So you might find this week that this is a little thing, okay? Some old issue that you can just say goodbye to. It might be a huge, huge thing that you are being asked to pay attention to, because these changing lines come in to say, here's a little pop of change that if we could just pay attention to it, could be really meaningful for us in moving forward. Here's something to focus on this week. Okay, so exorcise the bad blood, disperse it, get rid of the conflict, don't step into the head-on collision, okay? Because the repercussions are huge. Okay, so where do those two changing lines lead us to as we work with this idea of dispersing, of space clearing? Okay, is hexagram 48 the well? I love this hexagram. It's the symbol of the structures we use to tap into the inexhaustible supply of water. In this case, water is such a powerful symbol of tapping into resources, people, networks, finance, ideas, flow. I mean, you can just keep on going about water. So as a symbol, the well is a structure that helps us tap into the water. Now, once we've tapped into the water and we have a good quality well and we have dug deep, okay, and we've hit the spring, okay, we can just keep on for the rest of time watering the crops and feeding the villagers who have built their whole lives around the well, all right, around the spring. So the well, what is it asking us to pay attention to? Is our well deep enough? Our attention is going into the structure that we have built, okay, the man-made structure that we have built to give us access to the spring that's deep within the ground. Have we gone deep enough? Okay, have we put in the effort to build a quality well that is lined with quality bricks, that the bucket and the rope and all the bits to get the water out are of the highest and the best? Perhaps you've gone high tech with this well. It's drawing our attention to the structures we use, our social structures, our networks, our relationships, okay? And so our attention this week is drawn to the well that we use, the well that we've made, and nourishing others through this inexhaustible supply. It's a beautiful symbol. It's asking us to be very open with what it is that we've created. What are we building? Okay, what are we using as an instrument? And I often think, particularly in a business context, this hexagram comes to bring us awareness around our network and the relationships and the infrastructure, the pipeline that we have built that gives us access to the cash, okay, or the water. So from a business point of view, perhaps it's useful just to have a look at the well that you use to draw up the water, the structure, and making sure the well feeds everybody, that everyone has access to the well, that there's accessibility, and that's a key part of working with this hexagram. Okay, so that's our week. We have space clearing to do, we have old energy to clear, we've got work to do to focus on tapping into that deep, inexhaustible supply. We've got bad blood to get rid of. We've got the work that's critically important to put first and foremost, to put the ego aside. Rewards can come later, work comes now. So it's going to keep us busy this week. And I affirm that the beautiful energy that's released because you clear your space and that you find a beautiful well to work with and that you put that bucket right down into that deep, deep, deep water and you get that beautiful, crystal clear spring water back up. The inexhaustible supply that we are all part of, we can all tap into if we can but develop the capacity to do so. Thank you so much. Please like and share if this was meaningful to you. And of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel or to the podcast. You can follow. And of course, I'll see you on the socials and I'll see you again very soon for our next weekly episode. Thank you so much.